Hello everyone, welcome to our training video, Accessing Canvas and Teaching Online. This is our agenda. It's going to seem a little lengthy, but as you start to go through this video and following along with the training, I hope that you will see a lot of these items go together. I just wanted to have a clear map of what you will learn in this. I'd like to point out that this training video is a basic place for you to get started in your course and to use it as an additional resource if you at a later date need to come back and review a specific content area. So our first step is going to be accessing our learning management system, which is Canvas, an overview of the navigation pane, locating your courses, uploading a syllabus and course documents, creating a test, assignment, and discussion board, using the built-in accessibility wizard, using the student view, publishing your course materials and your course as a whole, using the LMS to provide quality feedback to your students, using Canvas to provide alternative assessment opportunities, and creating universally designed course materials. These are the learning objectives I hope to achieve throughout the video. At the end, I would like all of you new faculty to know how to access our system, how to navigate all the features that come along with Canvas, how to create your course materials. I would like to propose some recommended best practices regarding feedback and alternative assessments, and that you will have some additional resources at the end of the session to help you if you need some additional aid or content to build your materials. So first, I'd like to introduce myself. I am Melissa Stiltner. I am the manager of the Distance Learning Testing and Disability Services, and this is where I'm located. If you would like to contact me, please do not hesitate to reach out. So we're going to jump right in. The first thing you're going to do is go to your Southwest account. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see. So for security purposes, I'm not actually going to put my username and password in here, but this is the portal where you will sign in. Once you log in, you will go to our launch page, and yours may look just a little bit different than mine, but the main thing I would like for you to focus on is this Canvas tile. So you'll select it and log in. Once you actually have logged in, you should land immediately on your dashboard. Again, yours may look different than mine. Since you are new faculty, you may only have one that has your name and says Sandbox. That's totally okay. We will help you build your course materials. However, if you are assigned to a course, it should show up in your dashboard immediately. If it does not, contact me and I will see if there are any errors, but it should populate for you once you are assigned to that course. So the first thing I would like to go over with you is our navigation pane over here. Ours should look identical except for the admin button. So first you should see our logo. You should see an account button. This is where we're going to start. So as you can see, I do have a photo in mine. If you click account, you immediately should have an option right here to add your photo. I already have one, but if you would like to add one, you should. I strongly recommend it because this puts a face in place for your students. They'll be able to see this when they're receiving information in the course from you. And it really helps to build on student engagement. The next thing is notifications. So if you go into this one, it provides a sitemap. Now, faculty, staff, and students do have access to the navigation preferences. They come pre-populated, and you can see up here we do have a sitemap that tells me the check mark means I'm going to be notified immediately if I receive anything from a due date, an announcement, a grade. You can select send daily summary, weekly summary, and do not send anything. So, as you will see, I do have some selected as do not send me anything because I am not currently teaching a course. Inside of your own course, I probably would not select this so that you know when something changes in your course. So you could leave it as a weekly summary or something like that. You may want to change grading to notify me immediately, which I have right here. And it does give you an option to alert about all grades and so that you can stay up to date with all of your courses. You'll know when a student is submitting something. You can go down through here. If you hover, it will tell you who has a right to these. So even though students do have options in their notification preferences, it will vary. It's not the exact same preferences that you have. And it will give you a little description that can help you decide if you really need this content turned on or not. The next one is profile. So if you did not add a picture in that first part, you can add one here. You could edit and add one. This is me and my children in this picture. And then this is, I think, a good practice for all faculty members to go ahead and add your contact. You can add a biography here, and you can add any links if you have a specific content that you are teaching. I'm going to use nursing as an example. You could add links here that are really important for your students. So in nursing program, first year students have to do background checks and those types of things. You could add these links here if it was really important to you that your students be able to access them in one certain location. The next is files. And again, yours is probably going to look a little different than mine just beginning. It may just have the option for My Files, and that's totally okay. It may have My Files and Sandbox, and it may have all of your courses listed. So files in your account is an excellent way for you to manage your content. You can think of this kind of as like a cloud storage or a Google Drive storage. It allows you to break your information up however you would like. So you could add your own file if you would like to. You can add your own folders, and then you can upload material. So if you went to upload, it's just like uploading a document, attaching a document to Google Drive or any of those types of things. You can scroll through, find a document that you would like to add, double click on it, and it'll populate. And you can decide which folder it is assigned to. So if you have course documents that you have already made before you had access to Canvas, you can go ahead and pull them in here. Another really useful way of using files is that if you know you're going to teach this course again in the spring and that your content will still be applicable at that time, the assignment will still be applicable to those students, you can add it into your storage here. You won't have to carry it around on a thumb drive or anything like that. And when you're building your next semester's course, that content will be here, and then it'll just be a matter of locating the content and double clicking it to add it to the new course. So it's a very nice feature. So back to account. Another one is settings, and this one gives you lots of information for personalizing your Canvas account. So you can add any information you would like. You can change your display name if you would like. Students do not currently have that option because we want to make sure that you can identify students that are submitting coursework and that you are able to provide feedback to the student that you meant to. You can add email addresses, as many as you would like. You can add other contact. You can put a cell phone number in here if you would like to, but please be aware that all Canvas users will be able to see that information if they're in one of your classes. So you may want to decide that that's not something you want your students to have, or if it is a course where they would need that, let's say you are a clinical instructor and you want them to be able to contact you to coordinate clinical sites or contact you at a clinical site, you could add that information here. If you go down, you can see that you can pull in other information if you would like to link to your account in case you wanted to access it at a later date. You can see some of the things that I have already linked in. This one applies to the VCCS integration, applies to all users, so you should see that one, but you may not see anything else. That's okay. We can add them if you would like. Okay, so that should cover your account because we currently do not use My Badges at our institution. So the next one is your dashboard. And again, that's your landing page, so it should have all of your courses and your sandbox on it. It should have an SVCC resources. That one is pre-populated for all users. However, if you did not see a course on here, as I mentioned earlier, you could reach out to me and I can see if there's an error, or you can go to the next link in our navigation pane, which is called Courses. If you select it, you should see that it should match our tiles, but you can also go into All Courses. Okay, so at that point, it'll show any course that you have ever been linked to. This is a really handy tool to manage your dashboard. If you want to see a course that you're not currently seeing on your dashboard, you can highlight the star here by selecting it, and it will make sure that it puts it on your dashboard. And vice versa. If you have decided that I no longer need to see my summer courses, you can go into Courses, select All Courses, and then uncheck them so that they no longer show up on your dashboard. And it can keep it nice and tidy so that you're not having to search for your courses. Our institution does not currently use groups, so we are going to skip over that one. Calendar is our next one, and it is an excellent tool for faculty and students. So as you can see, this one is saying that it's the month of September and that it has grayed out today. You can decide to go through and select different months. I'm going to select this one because it does have some due dates on them. You can change your view if you wanted to look at it weekly, monthly, or just in an agenda format. That is absolutely fine. But if you look over here, you will see that it lists the same courses that are on my dashboard and that they are color-coded. So the really nice thing is when we get into building content inside of your course, you are going to see that if you assign a due date to an assignment, a discussion, a quiz, a test, really anything that you build in your course, if you give it a due date, it will auto-populate on the calendar for you. It will do the same thing for your students. So when students log in, they'll be able to see every course that they are enrolled in. It will be assigned a unique color as well, and it's going to show their due dates. Now, faculty have one more step that students do not have in their course due dates. It is that, let's say you have this assignment due on Monday, and it snows. In our region, it snows quite often. So if you needed to, you could go right into your Canvas account. You can click on it. I may not be able to because I was not the teacher in this course, but you should be able to click on it and drag it to a new date. So let me just maybe add training video. Let's say that I wanted it due then and that students could submit between those times. This is not a pertinent to this example because we're not going to have no location, and that it's going to be added to my calendar. So that is considered an event. Another feature that faculty have is this assignment tab. So if you need to create an assignment, let's say you're going to have a guest speaker that was not on your syllabus. You can come in here and add that information in. You can tell them when it's due or anything of that information. You can tell it which class you want it added to. And if you want to put in assignments that you want to publish this assignment and submit it, you can do it directly from in here. But we're going to go back to my event so that I can show you how easy it is to drag and drop it. Okay, so it shows up here. Let's say, unlikely, but July 1st it snowed. We can come in here and move it. If it was a really big snow and Wednesday's not good, we can move it again. We can move it as many times as we like, and it will auto-move it for all of your students. So when they log in to check their course, it will have moved it for them. It does not change the assignment in any way, but it does give you the freedom to go in there and change this at one time for all of your students. It's a really nice feature inside of the calendar. And then the other thing is that students will see all of their coursework, like I mentioned, for their classes. So if they have a paper due for your class on Friday and a lab due on Monday for another course, or anything like that, they'll be able to see it at one glance, which we all know is a really nice way to focus on time management for students. It allows them to see it at once instead of having individual calendars for each class. They're able to see all of their academic due dates at one time. And then faculty and students also can add things to their individual calendars if they want. So if I added to do study for lecture, and I know that I need to do this before my test on Friday, I could add it to whichever day I'd like. Let's say I'm going to study early in the week. I could assign myself a time if I would like to. At this point, I'm just going to say Monday I'm going to study, and it adds it to my calendar. Now, students would not have any additional calendars listed at that time, but faculty may. It'll say, do you want to add it to your personal calendar? Do you want to add it to one of your courses? And then you can put in details if you want. I really need to review Chapter 4. All in one place. And then if I add that, you can see it has put it in a different color because my class is in green, right? And then my personal calendar is in blue. You do have options over here if you would like to change the color if it really matters to you. Students sometimes do this. They say, okay, I'm using the red notebook for English, and I want my calendar to match my notebook, and it helps them organize. Faculty are welcome to do that as well. So you can change it if it really means that much to you. If not, it will just auto-populate for you as you are added to courses. The next feature is Inbox. Inbox is a really nice feature because it allows students to come in and select a course. I need to email Miss Stiltner, and I can go in and create it, and it'll tell me that it's going to go ahead and send it to her course, right? You can see the people that are in the course. You can see your teachers, and you can see your peers, and it allows students and faculty to communicate without sharing their student or personal email addresses. So it's very nice. And it's just like all other correspondence, except for this Inbox does give you the option to record an audio or a video comment. So this takes student engagement, student-faculty engagement, student-to-student engagement one more step. It gives you an opportunity. You could tell students, I've sent you a welcome email, and it has a video. It lets you see me. It lets you see my office, those types of things, and it really builds that engagement. It also can be used to verify your students. If you want to make sure that the person that is registered for your course is interacting and checking their email or staying up to date, and connecting with you, it gives you that one more step to connect with them. You get to see them because in an online environment you probably would not have saw them otherwise. So you'll get to see their sweet smiling faces and really build that community of learners. If you receive an email in here, there is a notification setting for it like I showed you under account, but if you have left it to notify me immediately, you will get that immediately to your faculty email and to your Canvas account. You can check it from either account and you can reply to it from either account. So can students. They will get a notification in their Canvas course that Ms. Stiltner has sent an email, and they can reply directly in their Canvas account. So they don't have to go find a valid email address for you, for their peers, those types of things. The next link is Canvas Commons. This is a very beneficial tool because it will let faculty come in here and search for all kinds of materials. So let's say you are looking for a unique assessment ID. Maybe you want to branch out. You don't want just a typical online test. You're really looking for something out of the ordinary. You could look for assessments, and it's going to give you ideas. These are considered OER resources, so you could look through these materials, and if they are posted here, they've been agreed upon that you can use them. So you could select one that's pertinent. It tells you what kind of level this assignment is for. Assessment tools, this one, it says what is an assessment. So you could really select whichever one you would like. You can read through it and see if it pertains to you. This one's really nice. It goes ahead and provides the rubric for you. And if you say, yeah, that's something I would like to use, you can go ahead and import it to your class, or you can download it into your files and use it at another time. Your choice. So remember that Commons is just a fountain of resources for you. The next tile is Studio. I'm actually recording this video in Studio. So if you go into the Studio, I'm going to try this and see if I can do it without messing up my current video. But if you click on it, yes, so it should come in here to a new page like this. It should show you all the videos you have ever recorded. At this moment, as your new faculty, you should not see anything except for these buttons. So if you would like to record something, you can select the record button. It does give you the option to screen record, webcam record, or both. So if you'd like the students to see you, you could do a webcam one. You could do an excellent introductory discussion board or announcement, or the email like I've already mentioned, introducing yourself to the course. If you wanted, you could use this to provide feedback to your students. Hey, I loved your essay. These are my thoughts. I'd like for you to look at paragraph 2 and talk through it with them. Sometimes that is an excellent way to provide feedback while reassuring your students. So they're getting more authentic feedback. They are receiving the same type of feedback that students would receive in a face-to-face situation where they can see you, they can see how you're saying it, what your tone is, any explanation that you have, instead of just a text feedback where a student can interpret it really however they would like. If you were just to say, nice job, but you need to look at paragraph 2. In a text feedback, then, a student may not receive that well or may not be encouraged by it. So this does absolutely give you an opportunity to provide a different format of feedback. You can add videos from YouTube if you have recorded them and uploaded them into YouTube, and then you would like them in your course. You can add them and pull them from here. This is accessible only to you unless you import it into one of your courses. We cannot go in and see what you've recorded, so if it takes you a couple takes, no worries. And then the last one is help. So inside of help, you will see that there are lots of resources as well. You can see if somebody's having the same problem as you. You could go directly to the Canvas guides and search your question, and it'll provide documentation to help you. If something's not working, you can report it immediately. I would ask that you also let me know so that I can try to work through it with you, but this way Canvas will know that something wasn't working. There is a Canvas support. They offer 24/7 Canvas for faculty and for students through a hotline. They also offer online chatting support 24/7 for faculty and students. There's an Ask the Community opportunity. You could just pop right in, type in your question, and see if someone that has had more experience in the learning management system than you has any ideas. And then we do have system-wide resources as well. And that's where yours should end, I believe. Okay. So that goes over accessing your learning management system in the navigation pane and locating your course. So let's go inside of a course so I can show you about uploading your syllabus documents, which is the next thing on our agenda. So if you go inside of your course will probably only show this first block that says, "Welcome to class, your journey begins here." This is part of our Canvas systems blueprint, and it has this available for all courses. So you don't have to build this piece. You do have to enter your information. Like I said, you could add this in your account and it'll pull it right in, or you can go in here and edit it. So let me start back. If you get in your course and you see the About the Teacher section, hover over it, you'll hit it, and then in the right hand corner of almost all of Canvas's pages, there's an edit button. You can hit edit, and it'll bring you to a screen like this. This box is inside of Canvas is called the Rich Content Editor. It is a very nice tool that allows you to basically format your information however you would like. You can see these options right here at the top. You can enter tables, which is really nice if you're building a syllabus to go ahead and use the table format so that it is accessibility compliant. You can insert media if you would like. If you have created a video and you know the website, those types of things, you can add it here. You can do links. You can remove a link. If you accidentally put something in there that you don't want linked, you can undo it. You can do images. And if you click on images again, it'll say, hey, do you know where that image is? Is it on a web page? Would you like to add it? It immediately gives you the opportunity to provide the alt text so that you are in compliance with accessibility. You can select one from Canvas if you've uploaded it into your files, as we mentioned when we were going down through the navigation settings. If not, it does give you an option to upload one, and again, you can provide the alt text right here, or it will let you use Flickr. So let's say this is my introduction, and I just want to say welcome. Let's see if Flickr can find any pictures of that for me. It does. Flickr does have the alt text already provided for you, but you could select which image you would like, and then it'll insert it into that section for you. So you can put your information in here. I currently have it that only I can edit this. I would not recommend putting teachers or students into being able to edit your course materials, but you do have those options. If you had a document that you wanted the students to work on collaboratively, you could, when you're creating it, allow it to be edited by the students. They can go in and edit it right there. When you are finished, oh, let me show you one thing. I'm sorry. This is actually on our agenda, which is the accessibility wizard. So when you are creating any content inside of the Rich content editor box, this is called the accessibility wizard. And if you select it, it'll tell you if there are any issues, and it celebrates with you if there is not. So if you had put something in here that did not, like my picture, when I was building this, I added alt text that says it's a picture of myself and my children. But if I had not, it would have probably most likely flagged it, and then gave me immediately the opportunity to add the alt text there. The reason that I say probably is that Canvas has stated that their accessibility wizard is 95% accurate. There are some issues that it may not flag, but the large majority of the standards are loaded into their wizard. Okay, so to carry on, once you have created your introduction about yourself, your little bio, you hit save. Now, because we have created this for you, it will originally be unpublished. So once you have saved it, you do need to publish by just clicking that button, and it should turn green like mine is. So let's go back home. The next one is student resources, and students have access to this as well as faculty, and it has our campus resources on there. And then it also has technology resources. So one of the really nice features on our campus is that all students do receive Office for free, and it provides the download information, antivirus, and then student support through products. All of that will already be loaded into your course for you. And these two, student resources and technology resources, should already be published for you. So one of the things on our agenda is talking about publishing your course and your materials. So if you see right here, this says that it is not published, and for good reason. I have nothing in this right now, so I need it to stay unpublished. But when you log in, these two should already say published for you if you were to hover over them, just like this one does. If you do not see them published already, you absolutely can check that box and publish it. That is not a problem. So these are considered pages inside of your module. This is one of the best practices for teaching online, is chunking your material. If students cannot find the content, they cannot learn the content. So be conscious as you're starting to build your course about how you would like to group it or chunk it. Do you want to continue to chunk it by modules? Would you like to chunk it by weeks? Would you like to chunk it by either a course, all of your course documents in one place, all of your assignments in one place, all of your videos in one place? You have your academic freedom to decide how you would like to chunk your course, but be conscious of it, how you plan to. Would you like students to move through it as a module based? Would you like them to move through it weekly? Do you want to provide a syllabus that is telling them all of their due dates and those types of things, and then they're going and finding, okay, these are the course documents I need, and this is where my assignment is? If you have any further questions about that, or need support, or are unsure and would like to see some more examples, please reach out to me. So we talked about these and about publishing them. So that publishes each of those pages, and then up here it gives me the option to publish or unpublish the entire module. The other part of publishing is that over here, originally it will be an unpublished, just like this. And if I wanted to give people access to this course, particularly the students that are enrolled in it, I would just need to click this button right here, and it would publish anything that I have said I want students to be able to see at that time. do not have to publish all of your materials at once. If you decide that you want students to do it in a module or a weekly format, and you have some prerequisite materials, for example, in nursing, they have certain skills that they want the student to master before they move on to the next one. So a nursing faculty may say skill 1 instead of module 1. They could put all of the content about the skills. Let's say they have an introductory that tells the student, hey, in this module, this skill module, we're going to work on these hand washing, whatever skill. And then they have an assignment if a faculty member wanted to import videos, or if they wanted to give them an assessment on it. They could do all of that in one module. And let's say skill set 2 is documenting input-output, but they don't want them to be able to access it until they've made it through this skill set. Then the faculty could simply choose to not publish that material until that time. Okay, going back to our agenda, it looks like we have talked about the accessibility wizard now. Okay, so let's go into actually building one of these modules. So let's say I'm going to build a module that I'm going to call it skill, or let's say hand washing skill set 1, just because I was using that as an example. Okay, so again, as I'm building it, I can decide that I want it locked until, and then I can pick a date. If I'm giving the students a week to complete this skill set and have everything submitted, I could say I want it to turn on a certain day and a certain time. I do not, because this is my first module. However, I can add a prerequisite. So if you go in here, I can say that the prerequisite is, and then you get to select which one. I can say, I don't want students to be able to get into this skill set until they have actually viewed the class journey, right? And I can add additional prerequisites as needed. I'm going to remove these because at this time I don't want them. So I'm going to add the module, and it automatically puts it at the bottom. Hand washing skill set 1. If I wanted this to be my first module, I can drag it back up to the top of the course by just clicking on it and then dragging up. Okay, so if I want to build course material in here, I hit the add button. And I can decide, do I want to create an assignment? Do I want to do a quiz? Do I want to do a file, a page, a discussion board? Just want to add a header that's not going to have any true information in it at that time, or an external website or tool. So let's say that I want to add a page. And if I have already built a page previously, it'll list it here. But I want to do a new page, so I'm going to select new page, and I'm going to call it hand washing 101. And I'm going to add it. Okay, so if I click on this page, it currently has nothing, right? So again, we're going to edit it. Brings us right back to our rich content editor, and then we can add whatever information we would like. Let's say I have created a video, or found a video. Let's say I found a video on YouTube about hand washing. Let's see if I can do that quickly. I could select it, copy, and embed it. And when I hit OK, it should, it may not where I am recording, it will populate your video right here. It allows you to view it inside of the content editor, and it allows students to view it immediately inside this page instead of being redirected to a new page. But you also could just link the URL if you would like to. And then when we preview this, we should see a link. So again, I don't want anybody to be able to edit this. I can hit save if I'm not finished working on it, or if I'm ready, this is all I want in this particular page, I can hit save and publish. So it's just one more reminder that if you are publishing content, students will be able to see it. There's my video. Okay, so let's go back to our module. So that shows you our part of our agenda about importing or creating course documents. Now, Canvas has a syllabus feature already built inside of your course. So if you select the link that says syllabus, it'll take you here. And originally yours will not have a course summary because you're going to be building content as you go. But if you're ready to build your syllabus, you can hit edit. You can type directly in here. For whatever course you're doing. Or you can go over here to Files and say, okay, I have previously used a syllabus and I want to, oh, I'm sorry, I accidentally added it twice. But this is the syllabus I want to use. So again, you went to File and you just click on the one you want and it'll put it in here for you. And you can hit Update and then you can see my syllabus. And if a student clicks on it, it'll prompt them to download it. If you did not want them to have to download it like this, if you already have yours typed into a document, a Word document, a Google document, anything like that, you could just copy and paste that directly into the content editor here. You would not have to link it out. The other good part about Canvas is that if inside of your syllabus you have due dates, right? So you've listed them in your syllabus. Students are able to see them there. If you are building assignments that have due dates inside of Canvas, it will populate them for you and the student in a course summary automatically on the syllabus page. So again, you're not actually adding this information down here. Canvas is building it for you as you're building your course. So you can see the introductory assignment I created previously while playing around in my sandbox, and that I said I wanted it due by 11:59 on Monday, October the 22nd. You can see here that these do not have due dates. So as a faculty member, if you are building content and you're double checking your syllabus to make sure that everything's landing on this page and you don't see a due date, excuse me, you could click on it and be like, okay, well this one really didn't require them to submit anything. So it's okay that that one doesn't have a due date. You can double check yourself and see. Now, if you had wanted to add it, you could just edit this document right from this screen. So again, inside the syllabus, this one I have a quiz. So on quiz 2, for whatever reason, I haven't published it yet. I'm not ready for students to take it, but I did not assign a due date. I can hit edit. I can go and add a due date. go back to my syllabus. Quiz 2 has now moved up because it has a due date. Okay, so that covers the syllabus. Let's go back to creating so that we can talk about creating tests and assignments. In just one moment. Okay, so if in my first module, my first skill set, I wanted to add a test, I can again hit the plus sign. And okay, let's say I want to do an assignment first. I'm not ready to test them. We're going to do an assignment. We're going to do a new assignment. And let's say that we want to assign them hand washing worksheet. I'm not sure, guys. Whatever assignment that you would have inside of your course, you could hit add item, and when you open it, again, you can edit it. So you can say inside of this rich content editor, for this assignment, I would like to fill in the attached worksheet tracking how often you wash your hands for a 24-hour period. Okay, guys, I am totally making that assignment up, and if you are a nursing faculty member watching this video and cringing, I apologize. I am not a content specialist in that area. So you could provide the directions right here. If you needed to add a file, the worksheet, you could have selected your file and put it in right here so that they'll have everything they need. Again, you could insert a picture. Let's see if any of these are applicable. Not really. They're getting water. Okay, so that one's getting soap. You could put a picture if you feel like it is really adding to your assignment. As you can see here, when I resized the picture, it dropped down my text. If you go to the end of the sentence and hit enter, it should move that picture back down for you. You can say how many points you want this assignment to be worth, and that you want it displayed in the gradebook as points, a letter grade, a percentage, or complete or incomplete. You can decide if this one's just us getting started in this skill set. I don't really want students. I don't want the points to count towards their final grade. You can select that here. If there's a submission type, so we have asked them to complete a worksheet, you can say, yes, I want you to submit this online, directly where this assignment will be, or I would like for you to bring me that paper so that we can discuss it together, those types of things, which may be difficult for an online class, or that you want it submitted somewhere else. So this one we would want submitted online. You can say, I want them to just be able to text directly into a content box. I want them to be able to submit a website. I would like for them to be able to submit a media recording, or I'd like them to upload a file. Since we're asking them to complete the worksheet, we'd like for them to upload a file. And then again, you can restrict if you want only students to submit like a doc or a Word file or a PDF or something like that. You can choose if that's how you want it submitted at that time. Canvas does have a plagiarism tool built in, and so it is turn it in. If you want to see if it compares to other students' work, you can turn that on. And if you want the report to show immediately to students or not, what you want it compared about. If you wanted to show them the report after a certain due date or never, those are all your choice, but we're not going to assign that to this assignment. If this is a group project, you could say this here. You could say this is group 1, nursing 01, that you can create your groups manually, or Canvas will divide students out if you would like. So we're not going to assign a group right now. If you want students to be able to, to review others' works and provide feedback, I'm so sorry. Let me get back into my course. I apologize. And provide feedback, you can do that here. You can say this assignment, let's say it's a makeup assignment. Someone was not able to Someone wasn't able to submit a previous assignment. They got behind for whatever reason, and you're willing to work with them. You can say, I want this assigned to an entire section, a specific student, or I want it assigned to everybody in this class. So we're going to leave it as everyone. Again, if you select a due date, so let's say they have until the end of the month to do this one, and that it is available from now until the end of the month, you can set that as well. If you're okay with this assignment being open for longer, then maybe you would decide not to add available to and from. And then once you hit save, it will not be published if you decide that you just want to save it. If you're going to come back, like I would for this one, I did not have a worksheet created. I need to upload it to my files or to this document, so I can just save it and come back later. If I had everything I wanted in this assignment, I would hit save and publish. Oh, and see, it gave me an error saying, hey, you select that this is a group assignment, but you didn't assign it to a group. So Canvas is very user-friendly. Save and publish. Okay, so now it gives me a preview. It shows me this assignment, shows me that I've said it's 100 points. They're going to upload a document, and then this is when it is due and who I have assigned it to. So let's go back to our module. The same principles apply to creating a test. I'm going to go in and open this one back up. So as you can see, I can provide any directions in this quiz right here. I could say, please answer the following questions. Oh, I'm struggling, guys, I'm sorry. And then go on and finish in my directions. I can say that this is going to be a graded quiz, that it's going to be counted in their assignments. I can give the option that when I build questions, I want them to be shuffled. If I want to set a time limit, I can. I can say it, sure, they can attempt it multiple times if I would like. I can say, yes, I would like the students to see their incorrect answers immediately, or only after each attempt. Let's say I'm going to let them take it twice, but I don't want them to be able to go back and compare their answers. Or let's say this is an online class and students are going to have 1 week to do this test. It's due Sunday at midnight. But I don't want all the students to see the correct answers until everyone has taken the test. So I can say, okay, it's due Sunday at midnight. Nobody can see the answers until Monday. And again, it's kind of the same principle that I could hide the answers if I would like. If I would like students to only be able to see one question at a time, I can select that here. I can say, yes, I would like this test to be password protected. I want a student to be proctored when they take it. I can enter that right here. And again, assigning the due date. So that's the basic details of what I want in my quiz. And then I can go in and build my questions. I can simply choose, I want to build a new question. Again, brings you directly to the rich content editor where you can put in whatever you would like. If you are teaching maybe a science or a math content course and you're putting in here images, let's say you're showing an image of a sail that you have imported from somewhere. So let's see if I can find one quickly. Let's see. All right. Let's say I'm going to use that one. And then this one's not the best, but I could tell students please identify the nucleus. And I'll spell this correctly. Of this cell. And I could list options A, B, C, and D. I can say the correct answer is A. And then you can build your answers in here. If I have the question exactly how I want it, you would want to do the accessibility wizard. Now, as I told you, Flickr does provide the alt text for their images, but if you are using images off of, let's say, a test bank that has came with a textbook or a Google image, you've went and found a specific image you want the students that you want to use for them to identify, you would want to run this accessibility wizard to make sure that it has the text in case a student is using a screen reader or some type of resource like that. So when you're finished with your question, you could hit new question and add another question. I'm going to not update that one because it was not pertinent to what I'm doing. You could create a group of questions. You can find questions. You can also import files. So if you have built a test already, you could pull that over. And when you're finished, you would hit save and publish. Since I don't have any content remaining in here, I'm not going to choose to save and publish at this time. Just going to exit out. Okay. Creating discussions is the next topic on our agenda. So if you go into discussions, Canvas has a tool already built. As you can see, I do have one called Class Introductions. And if you open it, you can see I've assigned this to all of my sections. If I'm teaching, let's say I'm teaching a student development course, and I have 2 or 3 sections of it, and I want all of my students to do this. I can choose to assign it to all of them at once. Since this is my sandbox that only is showing that I have one user, myself, in here, this is the information that I was working on to create a discussion. And I wanted this one to be a video discussion. I've mentioned that a couple of times, but it's really an alternative assignment and way to assess my students. It takes into account that they have to read through all of these directions to get there, and they have to follow along to create their video and what they need to do to achieve this step. So you could view it, you can edit it if you need. Okay, so I've not attached anything. I'm allowing multiple replies. I've not assigned it to a group, and I want it posted to everyone, right? So I'm going to hit save. go back into discussion. So you can see it right here. Students would be able to access this and reply immediately. And because they're going to need to do a video, they've got to follow these directions for reporting it, and then they'll post their reply. So that creating a discussion board inside of Canvas is really easy. You can decide that you want to do a video one or that you want to do a text one. It's totally your choice. You could call this one the hand washing discussion board. You could put in whatever your discussion topic is. After viewing the hand washing video, please identify the proper steps, or whatever you want them to discuss. If you need to add something to the discussion board, you can add it. If you want to allow the students to reply, if you want to say, hey, I want them to post before they can see everybody else's replies, you have that option. If you want a student to be able to like each other's comments, those types of things, you can go through these options here. And when you have it exactly as you would like it, you can save and publish. Okay. So the next step on our agenda is using the student view. So inside of all of your Canvas courses, you've worked diligently to build a module, to build content inside that module, and a student emails you and says, Ms. Stiltner, I cannot see the introductory assignment. You can come in your course and double check to see if it is published or not. Excuse me. And if you think it is, you can choose the student view here on the right hand side of the screen. And it shows you everything that a student can see. So you can see the to-dos, which will populate on the calendar, and how much it is, everything that a student is seeing. You can see that the student can't actually see the syllabus link in this section because we haven't published the course, we haven't turned it on. You could see if there is a module missing. So when you are reviewing it, you can see exactly what your student is seeing in real time. And when you're ready, you can just go down here and hit Leave Student View. And it'll bring you back to your course that you are building. Okay, I'm going to flip back over to my slide deck now. So we have jumped right in. I wanted to show you some additional resources. These are inside of the Canvas community, as we talked about when we were going through our navigation pane. And if you were to go to these links, it will show you all of the accessibility specs inside of Canvas right now. So it does work with screen readers and browsers. It does navigate throughout a screen reader, and it will show them the same type of headings when you're building it. It does give you helpful hints about creating your headings, using shortcuts by pressing the comma, those types of things. So let's go back. And then this one talks about general accessibility design guidelines. So these are the things that within Canvas, the accessibility wizard is looking for. Your general layout, it's telling you keep things simple and clean and uncluttered, and that goes back to what I was saying at the beginning of the video about chunking your information, keeping it up to date and consistent and clear. When you're adding content, and even use the word chunked here, I didn't realize that previously. Keep it short so that students know what you are doing, what you're expecting of them. It shows you the appropriate headings. It talks about images, like I told you, providing the alt text, modifying the alt text. It does give you additional resources to embed images. It talks about links and the best way to add links. So when I was showing you that I was linking the syllabus, I accidentally clicked it twice, right? So it's basically saying that you don't want to be redundant when you're adding things. And it even shows you what this example right here would sound like if you were using a screen reader. And then it shows you what a better option is. Instead of saying the paper growing up digitally and then linking to it, they went ahead and linked directly to it so that it only reads that title once, and it tells students this is a link you can navigate to. It talks about the contrast checker, and it actually provides additional resources for you in the WebAIM color contrast checker. It talks about creating tables inside of Canvas, recommends using the rich content editor like I had suggested, videos, PowerPoints. It's very in-depth. So I did want to make sure that you had that resource available. The next slide is a video about universal design. It did come from CAST, and I'm going to let it play for you here so that you don't have to try to navigate outside of my training video to access this material.
This teacher needs to meet a curriculum goal, and she's got a very diverse group of students. And so does this teacher. And this one. Most do. In fact, research shows that the way people learn is as unique as their fingerprints. What does this mean for teachers of today? Classrooms are highly diverse, and curriculum needs to be designed from the start to meet this diversity. Universal design for learning is an approach to curriculum that minimizes barriers and maximizes learning for all students. Whoa, that's a fancy term. Universal design for learning. Let's unpack it a bit. Let's think about the word universal. By universal, we mean curriculum that can be used and understood by everyone. Each learner in a classroom brings her own background, strengths, needs, and interests. Curriculum should provide genuine learning opportunities for each and every student. Now let's think about the word learning. Learning is not one thing. Neuroscience tells us that our brains have three broad networks. One for recognition, the what of learning, one for skills and strategies, the how of learning, and one for caring and prioritizing, the why of learning. Students need to gain knowledge, skills, and enthusiasm for learning, and a curriculum needs to help them do all three. But every learner is unique, and one size does not fit all. So how do we make a curriculum that challenges and engages diverse learners? This is where the word design comes in. A universally designed building is planned to be flexible and to accommodate all kinds of users, with and without disabilities. It turns out that if you design for those in the margins, your building works better for everyone. Curb cuts and ramps are used by people in wheelchairs, people with strollers, and people on bikes. Captioning on TV serves people who are deaf, people learning English, people in gyms, and spouses who get to sleep at different times. UDL takes this idea and applies it to the design of flexible curriculum. UDL goes beyond access because we need to build in support and challenge. So how do we use the UDL framework to make learning goals, methods, materials, and assessments that work for everyone? First, ask yourself, what is my goal? What do I want my students to know, do, and care about? Then ask, what barriers in the classroom might interfere with my diverse students reaching these goals? To eliminate the barriers, use the 3 UDL principles to create flexible paths to learning so that each student can progress. Number 1, provide multiple means of representation. Present content and information in multiple media and provide varied supports. Use graphics and animation, highlight the critical features, activate background knowledge, and support vocabulary so that students can acquire the knowledge being taught. Number 2, provide multiple means of action and expression. Give students plenty of options for expressing what they know and provide models, feedback, and supports for their different levels of proficiency. Number 3, provide multiple means of engagement. What fires up one student won't fire up another. Give students choices to fuel their interests and autonomy. Help them risk mistakes and learn from them. If they love learning, they will persist through challenges. And remember, always keep in mind the learning goal. Get rid of barriers caused by the curriculum and keep the challenge where it belongs. And that's it. Okay, quick recap. Show the information in different ways, allow your students to approach learning tasks and demonstrate what they know in different ways, and offer options that engage students and keep their interest. Universal design for learning equals learning opportunities for all. For more information on UDL, go to www.cast.org.
So this document is also by CAST, and it sums up and supports what the video is talking about, providing the multiple means of engagement, how you can access, build, internalize, and then the goal, how you can help students and by providing multiple means of representation, and providing multiple means of action and expression. This is talking about going outside of the same exact assignments over and over and over, providing more opportunities for students. If you are providing a learning objective of students researching, let them provide the research to you in multiple forms. You can let them provide a video back to you. They could submit a Word document, a PowerPoint presentation, a demonstration, really offering those opportunities for students to use their strengths to succeed in your class. Then I did want to provide this best practices document. And it talks about the first step, which we mentioned in our account, is your instructor presence. You need to establish that early, and it provides examples so that you can really show students, hey, this is online, but I'm here with you. We are working collaboratively to achieve our learning goals and objectives. Make it applicable to real-world situations so that they can make those connections. Lots of research shows that this really reinforces and builds knowledge. It does talk about orienting students to your class. That goes back to chunking your material, deciding how you want to lay it out, what your expectations are, and then one of the things that are already in there for you is those technical support and resources. Give them clear expectations. Make sure that your learning objectives are aligning with the content that you are building, the assessments, that it is really supporting what you want them to learn, and that you're not just adding content to build a module, that it is pertinent to what the students need. Providing prompt feedback and reinforcement, and engaging students. between you and between their peers. And it provides some examples for that. And then, again, I did provide some additional resources for you that talk about best practices and then some standards for using technology in your classroom. So I'd like to go to those quickly for you. This best practices is from the Miami University, and it is a very robust collection of the things that we've been talking about throughout this video. So it starts right off with the differences between online and face-to-face teaching, how to create a community of engaged learners, how to create your teacher presence. So I wanted to leave you all in this video with other sources outside that support you and the content being shared in this video. And then the next one are the ISTE standards. And it shows you that these standards will help educators create empowered learners. It'll help promote collaboration, challenge, those types of things. And so if you come down here, it says one of the standards are for the learner, talking about using technology to leverage student learning. And it gives you applicable real-world suggestions to building this standard inside of your course. So I would recommend that you don't use technology just for the sake of saying, oh, I use technology in my course. Use it, leverage it so that it is broadening your course, supporting your course, and providing that extra level of accessibility or the next level of knowledge for your students. And that brings us to the references that I used to create these videos. I wanted you all to have access to all the information that I did as well, in case there was something that sparked your interest and you want more information about it. Or again, if there's something that you would like to talk to me about, please feel free to reach out. I look forward to working with you all in serving our students.